WrestleMania 27 is coming up this Sunday from the Georgia Dome in Atlanta, Georgia, and this woman, Trish Stratus, will be returning to WrestleMania the first time in 5 years, teaming with Snooki and John Morrison to take on Lay Cool and Dolph Ziggler. So Trish, it's been a while since we've chatted with you. Tell us a bit about how this all came together with Tough Enough and as well WrestleMania here.
Wow, you just 5 years? Has it really been 5 years since?
Mickie James, 2006.
Oh, time flies, huh? Well, I'm Tough Enough's newest trainer, so I will be, basically being part of the show got me back sort of in the WWE. And so I kind of came back to announce that I was going to be the Tough Enough trainer, and then Snooki was there and I was there, and suddenly, well, we have a match at WrestleMania.
Amazing how things work out. Yeah. Now, when the WWE came to you, was it first just the initial invite for Tough Enough, or was it kind of a package that will pair you up and do WrestleMania as well? Or did one come after the other?
It was a separate deal. Basically, they approached me to be part of Tough Enough. Stone Cold Steve Austin's the host, and I'm working with Booker and Bill were the trainers. And it's a big machine. So it's kind of like everyone just sort of, when you're in that big machine, it's like, oh, you're here, let's do Raw, we'll promote it, come to the pay-per-view, and everything sort of just became organic and rolled into this big, huge promotional thing that suddenly I'm part of.
Now, we all know with the WWE, when they ask you to do one thing, it can tend to lead to other things, and we saw you come back at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view in Oakland, and I'm sure just showing up to do the spot with Booker, and then they asked you, can you do something physical, and you broke the cardinal rule of always bring your gear.
Yes, thank you for bringing that up. Absolutely. Actually, the boots I'm wearing right now are the ones that
Are these them?
These are them. These are the ones. They're just regular, show up and chat about things, kind of a boot, and not exactly a wrestling boot.
See, I was very impressed because here's Trish Stratus, and you just kind of say to yourself, I'm Trish Stratus, I can go out there, I can stand on my head with these boots, no problem.
I can stand on my head with these boots, apparently, as you saw. So I, got in the ring, and yes, that's the new rule. Always pack your wrestling gear, no matter what, if WWE calls you, because you just never know.
And coming out of that pay-per-view, you were a trending topic on Twitter, a first for you, I believe.
It was a first for me. I mean, first of all, I'm like totally Twitter terrific. I'm into this thing right now, and I was trending, which is like kind of cool. So I actually was really devastated about this little maneuver where I kind of did a little slip up, but it's because of the boots, and I was trending, so it's all good.
All perfect. Now, tell us a bit about WrestleMania and working here with Snooki. Tell us about some of the challenges when you're working with a non-performer here in this kind of setting on such a big stage.
Well, my first experience with Snooki was great. She came to Raw, and what's cool is sometimes people don't get it. They don't get the scope of, like, you're going to be live in front of this crowd, and there's a different energy when you're out there performing live. Now, she got it. She was pretty cool with, like, the crowds, and actually her background, she's a gymnast and a cheerleader, so she has a little bit of athletic background, which is great, and I didn't know that. So she came out, she was totally game, and, like, I gave her the Air Canada move to do the Fez press. She did it, like, no problem, and you know what? She was totally into it, and I think, she's a fan of the product, and that helps as well when when you watch the product. And now we're going to WrestleMania. I've taught her a couple things here and there, and we're always going to be aware of, like, what you know your limits is what I always say to these people who are coming in from the outside world, and it should be a good one.
Is it somewhat similar, going back a couple of years to the WrestleMania you worked with Christy Hemme, who was another performer who really hadn't had a lot of training, and there you guys are going into a singles match where I imagine you were putting together that entire match?
Well, we both brought our parts, you know what I mean? It's one of those things where you know your limits, and you sort of play up what you're good at doing. So she was, she came from her dance background, and she had, like, the splits move and some cheerleading stuff, I think it was, and so you kind of play up what your strengths. So that's what we did, that's what we focused on, and I thought we pulled off. It was a lot about the story, and I think in this case it'll be about the story as well. Vicky Guerrero and I have a little bit of, like, heat going on right now, and me and Lay Cool, and so we'll play that up, and then of course the boys, Dolph and Morrison, I'm sure we're gonna have, like, a great showing, and maybe Morrison and I might pull out some cool twisty turny neat little moves.
There you go, there's a bit of a tease. And also Tough Enough is going to be debuting the very next night on the USA Network. Tell us about this experience, because a lot of people are very excited about this, the return of Tough Enough.
The return of Tough Enough is so exciting because it's, although it's going to have sort of bits from the old show, it's a new show. It has a different feel to it, and just the approach is a little bit different. The way, the contestants have wrestling background, and they've come from wrestling backgrounds, a lot of them, few of them didn't, and it's just a whole different show. The show has a bigger production feel to it. USA Network's really embracing it. Stone Cold Steve Austin as the host is amazing. I mean, the show itself, there's a lot of heart, a lot of passion. Booker T and Bill, obviously, they're just very passionate about the business, and what we all bring are unique things thing as trainers. And then Steve, just like the most riveting part of the show is going to be the end of the show. The elimination is absolutely amazing TV. Like, Steve is just amazing. And, you know, the producers came from reality show. They came from The Contenders. They did that show as well as The Apprentice background. So, you know, I'm working with Mark Burnett. So it's a really high production, and it's a really amazing show. I'm really proud of it, and I think people are going to really enjoy it.
Now, when they called you for all this, I mean, a lot of talent would just jump at this opportunity. You have your own businesses here in Toronto. To kind of put that all on hold for 6 weeks or so, I mean, how difficult was that for you on this end here in Toronto to put all that on hold?
It was pretty difficult, actually. It was, you know, I believe that timing is everything, and it was meant to be, because I had just finished up with a sort of a important project I was working on. The studio, you know, it runs itself. I have my fabulous instructors, and really it's like, it really just, it's been about two and a half years, almost 3 years now it's been open. So, you know, it really has gotten its flow where I'm like, I can actually go, good, it runs itself. You know, the instructors, they run the show over there pretty much. And then I just was actually settling into actually taking some time off to just chill a little bit, and I got the call. So I was actually ready to just be a little, you know, removed from everything, and it was actually good timing. Went down there, and I have a great team. I have a lot of people in place that can just help me take care of my stuff that I needed to take care of, and I didn't want to pass up a great opportunity like this. So I was honored to be asked to do it, and you know, I think the show, honestly, we're looking already. We'd love to have season 2.
And most importantly, out of all of this, is that with the return of Trish Stratus, I mean, the talk of a potential follow-up WWE DVD on Trish Stratus's career, I could see being in the works. And I do recall somebody promising that if a second DVD is put together, that the live audio wrestling chapter would make its way onto that DVD.
Yes, it is now. You heard it here.
Jason Agnew wants to be interviewed.
Yes, well, I think we can arrange that. I think, would you be part of it as well?
I think I would have to be.
Know, since you're bringing it up. I think that's a good idea. I think I'm going to talk to him about that. DVD part 2. There's a lot of stuff that's happened. That's like 2003. A lot of stuff has happened since then. It would be a heck of a video.
There we go. And I think live audio wrestling, an instant reason to be selling that. I've never got a royalty check from WWE.
Really?
Yeah.
And you'd like one?
I would absolutely. I hear about these things. I hear they're great. Little surprises. It's WrestleMania. It's coming up this Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern on pay-per-view. Trish Stratus will be teaming with Snooki, as well as John Morrison, taking on Dolph Ziggler and Lay Cool. Should be a lot of fun.
You know what? I'll be doing some lives on my Twitter.
Where could we find that on Twitter?
TrishStratus.com.
And you know what? We will retweet anything at Law Radio. That's perfect.
Thanks.